Hi, I'm Guadalupe Encinia. I am academic advisor here at Eastfield College. I'm originally from the South Texas area, born and raised from that area. I went to high school, did all that. The youngest of the boy in my family. I have two older sisters. Pretty big age gap in between. There's like a 10, 8, and then me. And then I went to community college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went to community college. Did that for 2.5 years, my local community college. First semester, I probably just messed around. I didn't know what I wanted to do. When I was at community college, just the learning style. It wasn't high school anymore. Biology 1406. I remember I failed the first test pretty bad. And that was a wake-up call. And, the study, you can't do it overnight. You can't do it overnight, go into a test and expect to pass. I had to change my whole way of thinking at that age of studying for a college course. So I didn't get it right away either. I had to adjust. My first year, I had to adjust. I had to figure out when to study and what to study. So I've been there. I understand if a student says they can't figure it out. I've been there. I've always wanted to go to a university that had really a college tradition, football games, dorms, really university life. And I went 9 hours away up into Lubbock, Texas, up into Texas Tech University. That's where I got my bachelor's degree, and that was a whole new experience for me. After my first semester at Tech, my dad passed away. So it was just a real big emotion. It was just, it was in the summer, my first semester at Tech. So I could have stayed, my family would have. I could have stayed home, I could have worked, or I could have gone home to a local community college, but talked it over with my family. And so I ended up going back to Texas Tech. And after 2 years there, I graduated. And it was just more of a personal goal for my family too. I was just motivated. Just to go on, I would all see people with A&M stuff in back of and my high school principals, administrators, and A&M jackets and mugs and on their stickers on their cars. And I saw Texas Tech, UT. And I guess that motivated me from a young age since I was in middle school. That's why I'm always wearing Texas Tech stuff, because I'm so proud. I left home. I accomplished one of my things in my life. So I'm always represented always. That always hold dear to me. Just to walk around and people can ask you, did you graduate? Yes, I did. It's just a feeling that you've done it and you're in that club or whatever, that group. No matter what university, but my undergrad ring is at home. It's for my family. I keep it in. My mom shows it off. She has it in a cabinet, showing in a room. I had mentors. I really developed some mentors, faculty, staff that to this day I still keep in touch with. They're the ones who made me to stay at Tech and get a bachelor's degree and eventually to graduate school as well. Dr. Fernando Valle, one of my biggest mentors. After my first year at Tech, I didn't renew my FAFSA, and at a university, you have to wait in line, and you have to wait in line at the FAFSA office, and after 3 hours in line, after a frustrating day, you have to turn in some paperwork and turn in, I had to get some back home, and I was just gonna go back home after a year. Just like, this is just too much of a hassle. I just felt like another number of the 35,000. I talked to one of my mentors, and he told me just stay with it. You're here, why go back home? And he's also from South Texas, so we connected. He related to me, and he told me the struggles, So after another 3 or 4 days of doing paperwork, filing, sending copies back and forth, making calls, getting signatures from my family back home, waiting in line for another 2 hours for FAFSA, I got everything signed in, and within a week, I got everything situated. So it was just that little pep talk, that little 20 minutes, one-on-one, telling me he knows the struggle. He knows that there's, you have to wait in line, that you're going to be a number of people, but you have to show the system, the university, that you're here, that you're tough. Success to me is you set a goal and you accomplish it. Through barriers, you have to go through barriers just to pass it. I had a goal to go to graduate school and get a master's degree. It was to go out of state for some reason, and I did. I went to Arizona State. It was just a tough experience for me overall, but my goal was to get a different experience, and to also to brighten myself, to get a different knowledge from different state, different experience. So that was more just to continue just getting better. I left there without no job. I did my first year, I didn't have a job at Arizona, so I was just trying to survive with that. I felt like an undergrad again that first year. different culture change, climate change as well. And to me, success was having that paper, having getting that master's degree. I was like to tell students my story. If I could do it, I worked. I had personal issues. I was away from family, but you have to be determined. Things can get rough. Personal issues. I'm not gonna be. I know family things come in a factor, like things they have to make a choice. You have to make choices in life. I've been there with them. I can't take 15 hours, 16 hours at work. I have family. So I could relate to that. It's like, you know what? You might take you 2.5 years. It might take you 3 years just to graduate from community college. Or I've been to the end goal. So I think my work at a community college is very special. You get all range of students, um, from age-wise to non-traditional to working students to students that are coming back after years off. Us as a community, we have to take care of our students, whether it's academically, maybe personally. Just we want to show these students that they belong in the community and that we want them to get educated here. Tell them that they got here, validate the reason why they're here. You picked the school, you got here for a reason. Show the professors, show the advisors, show the school that you're gonna be here. But I want to take care of them. Maybe go on to the next step in their career or academically. So that's why I think working in a community college is great. You're working with families that are from there. So don't let where you start off hold you off. I started off at a community college. I started taking developmental courses. Don't let that stop you going academic or professionally. And I mean that you could go to grad school. You could go to grad school at UCLA. Don't let that hold you off. I always tell people you could start off the very first of the rung of the ladder. You end up going to the top or above it. That's my experience from starting off at community college, getting a bachelor's degree, then eventually master's degree from out-of-state university. So I hope students move on thinking about their next step to whether career or transferring to a university.